Hi everyone, this is LT5. I can solve for the variable in an equation. So remember with these ones, the goal is that you're always trying to get the variable by itself because we want to end up with x equals or k equals or whatever the letter is. So first thing I'm going to do is draw my line to the equal sign. I can do that on all these. Okay. And then the idea is that I want to create zero pairs or do the opposite operation so I can get the variable by itself. So on the first one, we have x plus 7 equals 11. So because that's plus 7, the opposite of adding 7 is subtracting 7. And the reason that works is because if I have 7 positives and 7 negatives, that's going to be a zero pair. So the idea is that you want to try to create zero pairs. And then if I subtract 7 here, I need to subtract 7 on the other side. Remember, you have to do the same thing on each side every time. So I'm left with x equals, and then 11 minus 7 is 4. So on these, I always ask myself, what's happening to x and what's the opposite operation? So here I have plus 7, so the opposite is subtracting 7. Okay, on number 2, I have 6 equals 3k. Remember, any time that you have a letter next to a variable, a number next to a variable or a letter, there's always an invisible multiplication sign in the middle. We just don't always write it. So because this is 3 times k, the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. So I'm going to divide by 3. Divide by 3. And the reason this works is because 3 divided by 3 is 1, so those cancel. And then I'm left with k. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So again, on that one, the reason we divided is because this is 3 times k, and the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. All right, on number 3 here, I have 7 equals negative 3 plus y. And this one kind of trips people up because you see that plus, and so you're thinking the opposite subtracting. But if I look here, I have 3 negatives. And if I want to make a zero pair, if I have 3 negatives, I need to add 3 positives because that's an equal 0. And if I add 3 positives on the right side, I have to do it on the left side. So again, I'm just looking at what's next to the variable and how can I cancel it out. So the opposite of negative 3 would be positive 3. So I'm left with y equals, and 7 plus 3 is 10. Okay, so this one's the same idea even though there's a negative in front of the 2. So this is negative 2 times j, so I can add that dot in there again. So the opposite of multiplying by negative 2 is dividing by negative 2. And sometimes students want to add here because they think it's a zero pair, but I want to divide because negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, so they cancel. And then I'm left with j equals, and then positive 14 divided by negative 2 would be negative 7. So remember, the main point of these is to always just do the opposite operation. The opposite of adding is subtracting, and same thing going backwards. And the opposite, adding. And the opposite of multiplying is dividing. And the same thing goes backwards. The opposite of dividing is multiplying.